back and get ready to have the most fun you ever had with an electronic device.
Look at the little Tula. She's talking to the producer.
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Get On With It Sports Show. It is Wednesday, June 29th, 2022. Jersey Johnny coming at you with me, as always, is none other than Mr. RadioPete and Mr. Harry Lug Nutz. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hi, guys.
How the hell are you,
is
gentlemen?
everybody?
Hey,
doing?
how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? You all right? You doing okay over there? How you doing?
How you been? How's it going?
How you been? How you doing? How's your mother? Say hello to your mother for me.
You know. Did you talk to the guy?
Yeah, I talked to the guy. The guy's got the thing. The thing's
the
over there. It's all good. Don't worry.
It's all good? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't worry about it.
Did you talk to the guy?
Don't worry about it.
The long guy? The Long Island guy?
He did what he had to do.
That guy's a joke.
So it's done.
It's done.
It's done.
It's done.
Oh, we're good. All right, we're good.
Yeah.
All right.
Bob's your uncle.
Bob is your uncle. I think that's a totally different accent, but okay.
Yes.
That works for this. So how are you gentlemen on this fine evening?
Oh, just fucking dandy.
Lovely, right?
Yeah, I'm 3.5 games ahead of Atlanta.
How are you?
You are? RadioPete.
RadioPete is in the
Atlanta. Are we talking pickleball already?
Pickleball, yeah, of course. Oh, highlight, actually. He's playing highlight.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to pull up the old pickleball. There's a tournament coming up in Jersey, I believe.
No.
That's next week's show.
We're trying to keep this under.
Yeah, no, I know. No, I'm just
Yes.
I'm just going to find it.
Next month's show. We'll have a quarterly pickleball roundup.
Quarterly roundup. There you go.
Let's see, what's today?
And you have to eat pickles.
Apparently,
You're
there's more
getting the
pickleball leagues
roundup.
than you think of. Than you would imagine, I should say.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not till August. August 10th.
This is why we have no listenership, because we're leading off with pickleball.
There you go.
That's not till August. So
It's not till August. We got time.
All right.
I'm not going to mention the APP New Jersey Open happening August 10th through 14th.
Wow, is that in? Hopefully, that's in Piscataway or Passaic.
The American Pickleball. With the APP. What is that?
Yeah,
American Pickle APB. Let's put on APB on them.
I don't know. Interesting. It doesn't say where it is.
It's at an undisclosed location.
Yeah.
There are really 3 jerseys, let's be honest.
That's on a need-to-know basis.
Exactly. No one needs to know.
Yeah.
All right.
All
but
right.
this guy will be there at the pickleball finals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Baby hands.
Baby Hands Johnson.
Baby hands. He looks a little bit like what's his name? Luke Wilson.
Luke Wilson.
Baby hands Wilson.
Baby Hands Wilson.
Might be a
bit,
cousin.
There you go. Those listening to the audio podcast, you want to come and you want to watch the.
It looks like an 80s headshot for somebody who'd be playing at the Laugh Factory or Chuckles and fucking
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looks
With
like.
your host, Rob Littlehands.
Yeah.
Little Hands Stewart.
That's right.
There you go.
By the way, I
Stuart
don't
Little
know
Hands.
if either of you have seen the new Doctor Strange movie in the universe, multiverse.
Didn't.
I
I was actually gonna, but didn't.
I've not seen it.
It was good. So until the end,
Was Baby Hands Johnson?
It was good until it wasn't.
Yeah, it just got too smarmy at the end. And
No, this guy was in it though.
yes,
Kawhi Leonard?
Yeah.
Well, I got something to talk about that, because that team is getting better.
That team is getting better. Yeah, we will talk about that when we get to.
All right, let's move on. What do we
move
got?
on.
What's our first?
Well,
up?
just to kick it off, I do want to put this up there. Actually, you know what? Screw it. Let's start with baseball. We'll do that when we get there.
All right.
That's fine. So, all right. So, hey, you know what? We're wrapping up the 3rd month of the season. The Mets have now lost 4 games out of 7-game stretch to the
You guys are
to the Houston
fine.
Astros.
You're
They've
fine.
5 of 7 games in the last week. They've lost.
Look, you're the 2nd best record in all of Major League, and your 2 best pitchers, who are arguably 2 of the top 5 pitchers in baseball, have not pitched for forever.
One of them haven't pitched this season. One of them hasn't pitched this season. The other one hasn't pitched in 2 months.
2 months? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you're fine. In fact, if they come back, which I hope they do, I don't know what the update is on DeGrom, but when they come back,
DeGrom's been throwing live bullpen sessions.
Well, yeah, he's been throwing live
batting practice. Batting practice.
So
batting practice.
Yeah, look, it's
my kids stand out there with a bat.
He's been throwing live bullpen sessions as opposed to those fake
throwing a live bullpen session here. Don't you dare swing the bat.
Been throwing live bait in the ocean.
Yeah, exactly.
Down in Seabright. Yeah, look, if they're 80% Scherzer and 80% DeGrom, then the Mets are the best team in baseball. It's that simple.
Right.
So if you're a Mets fan, yes, trust me, I wanted you to beat Houston, but
I'm sure you did.
You're fine. You're fine. Yeah, you're all good. The Dodgers, you got to watch out though. You got to be able to win enough games to keep the Braves off you. For the Yankees and the Mets, the key is to win going away and stay out of these stupid play-in games. That's the key. Set up your rotation, start at home, win those games that you need to. The Mets are in a great position right now. I will say this: Atlanta is hot, and they're right on their doorstep.
Right.
So Philly was pretty hot for a while there too, right? Wasn't it two teams that had 9 or 10 game winning streaks in the same division, and that hasn't happened since 1972.
I mean, that's the big question: is Philly's season over?
True.
Yeah.
They're so desperate. There's trade rumors of the Phillies trying to get Joey Gallo.
There you go.
You'd love that, wouldn't you?
Actually, I thought they were trying to get Joey Callow with a C. Callow.
That's Jerry Callow.
It's Jerry. It's Jerry Callow. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing that worries me. I'm not that much worried about Philly. That was a nice run, but they're not that good.
No.
Famous last words. Knock wood.
There you go.
Well, the Braves are going to go out and buy a whole new team.
Well, that's what I was just about to say. I'm more worried about the Braves being close and then getting better, making the moves to get better like they did last year.
But understand this. Understand this.
The only
Steve Cohen is going to be right there with that too.
And the other
players out there
back, we should get better when we have both of our aces, and then not.
It's not like it's the Wilpons.
The only other team that made a phone call to Kyrie Irving was the Atlanta Braves. So
this is true. Yes, and they almost went too. They didn't give him an opt out after every week.
Are we talking baseball with the basketball background? What are we doing here?
Oh, you know what? That was supposed to be changed. So I like the basketball background.
I think just put the baseball up when we.
When we go to football, I'll put the hockey background up. Just screw.
So that's what worries me here is that the Mets are going to go. Well, we're going to get better. We're going to have everybody back. Somebody else is going to get hurt now, and they'll be out for a little while.
That's what everybody's saying. Okay, who's next? Who's getting hurt?
They seem to forget how to manufacture runs a little bit in the last couple weeks. They were doing a damn good job of it. Yeah, they're maybe the best in baseball.
Yeah.
And they have a great on base percentage. They know how to work the count. They know how to get pitchers in trouble. They seem to be kind of, it's easy.
It's a little bit of desperation. They're kind of feeling, down on themselves. And Buck was saying this even last night after the game.
You were talking to him?
I was talking to him. Yeah, I talked to him after the game. Yeah. He calls me after every game. We BS a little bit, but in any event, no, he was saying it.
This is Buck Naked, not Buck Showalter.
Buck Naked, not Buck Showalter. Yeah.
Buck Rogers?
Buck Naked. Buck Naked Rogers, right?
You're talking about Buck Naked again?
Exactly. But anyway, he was saying, they're down on themselves, right? So it's obvious that they're, those 2 games last week to Houston, that kind of, they kind of fell by the wayside. Hopefully they can get them back on track this weekend. So we'll see how
they need a new trash can. They need to get themselves a nice trash can.
Right. Just kick it, make it dented.
Yeah, I mean baseball. It is what it is. Look, I don't think there's really any other movement. The Brewers seem to be back doing what they need to do. The Dodgers are hot. The Braves are hot. The Red Sox are hot.
The Red Sox are, yes.
But look, the Yankees seem to be able to win games they're supposed to win, which is a big difference than last year.
Right.
I worry about the Yankees' reliance on the long ball. In these last 2 games, they seem to be manufacturing runs a little bit more without having to rely completely on the home run.
Right.
Look, the players that are really important for the Yankees, other than the obvious ones, are the guys who have really high on-base percentages. Aaron Hicks and DJ LeMahieu are having down years batting-wise, even though I think LeMahieu's 2nd or 3rd on the team in hitting. But his on-base percentage is right there with Aaron Judge. So when he gets on base, which is obviously quite often, they can manufacture runs. I just don't like having Josh Donaldson or Joey Gallo hitting third and fifth. I mean, and look, I think we finally have a catcher with the Yankees. Put him in there. Let him play.
Elite Trevino's pretty good.
Kinky Falafel's holding his own at shortstop, and Matt, the return of Matt Carpenter.
Yep. The stash.
That's right. His
The
movies. Didn't he make a movie with Roddy Piper back in the day?
I think he made a movie with Rod something, but I don't know if it was Roddy Piper.
It was Roddy Piper. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the All-Star balloting as it stands right now. No, it's just a quick thing, and this is, as Met fans, obviously got to be pretty psyched. Every single category has a Met.
Now this is fan voting, correct?
It's fan voting, yeah. But you usually don't see them in there though, and every single category has a Met in there. So, but in any event, let's look at the catchers right now. National League. And it's odd too because a lot of fans are voting for a Met player in the American League too. So it really is a weird year. But in any event, catchers in the National League, Wilson Contreras leads it with the Cubs. He's up almost 500,000 votes above Travis d'Arnaud is actually in second. Excuse me, go figure. But Yadier Molina is in third, and you go all the way down. James McCann is actually in sixth. JT Realmuto behind.
Everybody's 38 to 42 years old in the catcher category.
Pretty much, yeah. Really old. First baseman. You want to make this a quiz? I don't know. Who do you think is the first? Who's in first
in the National League?
In the National League, who's in the lead for voting in the National League?
It's your favorite, your new favorite Dodger, your old favorite Brave.
That would be wrong. Actually, he's in third.
Third. What the fuck are they looking at?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who it is.
Paul Goldschmidt is in first with the voting. The Cardinals. He's got almost.
St. Louis has
he's got over 600,000 more votes than the second place vote recipient, which would be Pete Alonso.
Well, he certainly doesn't belong there.
Mm-hmm. And Freddie Freeman's third. Second baseman Jazz Chisholm with the Marlins is in first place.
Chisholm, yeah, there you go.
Chisholm, yeah, and he's only slim margin over Ozzie Albies from the Braves too. And Jeff McNeil's right there in the voting too.
Yeah.
He's like 100,000 votes off.
I would go with Ryan McNeil or Ozzy Osbourne over
Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah, I believe it. Ryan McNeil or Ozzy Osbourne. Gotcha. Okay, nice. Third baseman Manny Machado.
Manny Machado's having a good year, but hurt.
Yeah, strong lead. Nolan Arenado in second place, and Austin Riley from the Braves in third. Shortstops, Trey Turner with the Dodgers got a 300,000 vote lead over Dansby Swanson, and Lindor is in third. DHs, almost double the second placeman. Second placeman. That's a new one. I like that. Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper's got almost double the votes that William Contreras with the Braves.
Is Bryce Harper a DH?
No, but he's got the votes for DH. So.
Yeah. How many games has Bryce Harper DH this year?
Well, I mean, it's because of his hitting, right? He's not necessarily the best right fielder there is in baseball. It's his hitting that
is he the worst? Certainly that's never been a criteria for fucking all-star voting before.
Well, that's just true too.
I thought he was a 5-tool player here.
He's not even in the voting for outfielders. He's in the voting just for
maybe he just put him so they put him there.
Maybe they just put him
there.
I don't know. That's true too. But outfielders, Mookie Betts is. I mean, Mookie Blaylock is. Mookie Betts, Ronald Acuna Jr., Jock Peterson, Starling Marte is in fourth in the voting. But
Starling Marte is fourth in all-star voting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy! All right.
Yeah. Behind Jock Peterson, Ronald Acuna, and Mookie Betts, but. Hey, you know what? There's still another what?
We will do our all-star team of who actually belongs. Deserves to start in the all-star game.
We'll do that. We'll actually do that in 2 weeks because the all-star game will be the following week. So we'll do that.
Bryce Harper in 2022, outfield appearances 8, all in right. Pinch hitter appearances 1. DH appearances 55.
Okay, so he's DHing more than I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
He's hurt again, so now he's
He's
IL.
done. He's going to be out for. I mean, he broke his finger. He's not going to be. That's not a come back in 3 weeks kind of thing.
I don't know. Bryce Harper with a broken finger, I'll take it.
I think he could still hit with a broken finger. You just wrap it up. Tape
Wrap
it
it
to
up.
the bat.
I'll take it. There you go. But in any event, cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
I have some coffee.
Oh, I needed that. It was a long day. Having a floatable Kolsch from River Horse.
You mean hippopotamus?
Well, it's not an actual. That's the name of the beer.
Doesn't sound good.
It's the name of the beer. I guess you put it in, put it in a pool and it'll float. But no, it's a Kolsch. That's the type of beer.
What is a Kolsch?
A Kolsch is an ale that wants to be a lager, basically. No, it's a crispy, light ale with.
It's a weird tasting beer that only middle-aged white men drink.
Yes, yes, that would be correct. This one is actually dry hopped with Nelson Sauvin hops from.
This is the age of beer where like new grungy music was in the 90s. When every
make no mistake, Kolsch has been around for a while.
They just wanted to sign the next new band because
now everybody wants the next IPA.
Yeah, fans were good for 2 albums and then they got tired of
they were done. Whoever
was hot. They're like, nope, they sold out. I don't like them anymore.
That sounds like an old man.
Well, you know what? I had this. I'll throw this up now. This is a good segue for this. I'll throw this up. This actually popped up on the internet today. I'm still debating whether or not this is a joke or true because I'm really not sure. But here we go. Texas brewery prepares to launch hot dog water flavored seltzer. Move over, pickle juice. This stuff is going to have a real wang to it.
Yeah, that's probably true.
So, true or false? You will soon be able to drink a new seltzer with a unique flavor.
I have a question for you. Where was Jeff McNeil in the All-Star voting?
Jeff McNeil's in third for third in the voting for second baseman, and he's got 945,000 plus votes, and Jez Chisholm has 1,066,000. So he's only about 100,000 votes behind.
Okay.
So this time, I mean, he can move up, so he can move down too, but who knows? But he's
going to have to.
It's 9. He's 945 plus. Ozzy Albies is 984 plus, and Jess Chisholm is 1,066,000. Fourth place is Gavin Lux from the Dodgers, and he's only got 427,000 votes. He's a half a million behind, over half a million behind Jeff McNeil. So it's those 3 guys. So a lot of these guys are going to be going too. It's not like just the top.
I told you that
goes,
Starling Marte pickup was going to be a steal.
Oh yeah, and I agree with you though.
I believe you predicted that's like a 4th in the All-Star voting pickup. I think you said.
Well, the outfielders, and here's the thing too.
Well, he's like in the top 20 in hitting. I know he's only hitting like 279 or 280 or something like that, but he's like in the top 20 in batting average.
Right. No, he is. And you look at it this way: Mookie Betts is in first right now with the voting. He's got 2.2 million, almost 2.3 million. Ron Acuna Jr. has almost 2.2 million.
Jock Peterson just in the National League.
Just in the National League.
Yeah.
Jock Peterson has over 1 million votes. Starling Marte's in 4th place. He's only got 765,000 votes. So, not a lot of love for the Mets, but yet a lot of love for the Mets, more than they have in the past. So, for what they're doing this year, they should have more votes than they are getting. So that's my take on it. You could disagree if you want.
I'll tell you what, man. There's a lot of talent at first base. C.J. Cron for the Rockies should make the All-Star team too.
He is in 8th place right now in the voting.
I know, but I mean, look, you got Goldschmidt, Bell, Freddie Freeman, and C.J. Cron, top 10 hitters or top 11 hitters in the National League right now. I mean,
first place to 10th place right now in the voting is Goldschmidt, Alonso, Freeman, Matt Olson from the Braves, Eric Hosmer, Rowdy Tellez, Joey Votto, C.J. Cron, Jesus Aguilar, and Brandon Bell.
Yeah, well,
so those are the.
Let's see what happens.
Seems about right.
So let's go to the American League here. Let's take a look at the American League.
Think Mark Canha's got a chance of making the All-Star team?
Mark Canha is in 7th place in the voting. He's
behind. But doesn't the players or the coaches pick the round?
They do. Do I think he might go? Yeah, I do. I think he'll be there.
I'd like to see
Juan
Charlie
Soto and Adam Duvall are between.
Who would have thought Charlie Blackmon and Bryce Harper would be potentially playing in the All-Star game as DHs.
Right. Yeah, there you go. Who'd have thunk it?
I guess they did.
I guess they did. JD Davis is actually in 5th in the voting for designated hitters. But all right, so let's take a look at the American League catchers. Alejandro Kirk is in first place by a huge margin.
Well, he's hitting 325. I mean, geez, he's great.
Yeah, one point, almost 1.9 million votes. Second place is only just shy of 700,000 votes. And who would be in second place? You think?
Gary Sanchez.
No, Gary Sanchez is getting votes though. He's in
Of course he is.
Yeah,
of course he is.
Now Lee Trevino actually.
Yeah.
Jose Trevino has just shy of 700,000. He's in second place. So
Jose Trevino is really in second place.
Second place in the American League voting for catchers.
Wow.
And he's got over 1 million votes behind Alejandro Kirk. So
yeah, he doesn't.
That means he's going to wind up there. You know, he'll wind up going. I mean, there's going to be a lot of Mets and Yankees at the All-Star.
Yeah, but is he the second best catcher in the American League?
Probably not. Yeah, he's close though. He's playing pretty damn good right now. So, and he's still 300,000 votes ahead of third place, which is Salvador Perez.
Yeah, true.
So, and Martin Maldonado from the Astros is in fourth place.
Yeah, he's always good.
Rounding at the top 6, Christian Vasquez, and then Gary Sanchez, your fave. All right, first placeman. First placeman. We got to do something with that. First placeman award. First baseman. Who do you think's in first? Come on, you got to know that one. You got to guess easily who would be.
Well, I hope it's not Rizzo.
No, it's not Rizzo. No, he's not even in the. No, he.
Jose Abreu?
No.
Vlad.
Yeah. Vlad Guerrero Jr. He's got almost 1.7 million votes. Ty France has 880,000, and so he's almost 1 million behind. And Anthony Rizzo's behind him in third place.
Look at Luis Arias in Minnesota hitting 344. Mm-hmm. 83 hits already and 42 runs.
He's in fourth place, and Yuli Gurriel is Yuli Gurriel. It's a hard word to say.
Yuli Gurriel
is in fifth. Yeah. So there you go. Second baseman.
Yuli Gurriel.
Yuli Gurriel. Second baseman. Your buddy that just beat up on the Mets in 4 games, Mr. Altuve. He's got almost 1.2 million votes. Santiago Espinal from the Blue Jays is in second with 943,000.
You know, watch out for the guy who deserves to be there is Andres Jimenez from.
Andres Jimenez, yeah, he is playing lights out, and he was a shortstop with the Mets, and that was the whole trade, obviously, to get Lindor. But and I read something the other day. I mean, you know, I'm happy Francisco Lindor's on the team. Believe me, he's bringing good things to the Mets. But Jimenez is playing lights out baseball right now, and he costs a little less than Francisco Lindor. Just a little bit. So anyway, and Gleyber Torres, fourth place in the voting, and Trevor Story rounding it out in fifth place. Where are we? Third baseman, Jose Ramirez.
Josh Donaldson?
No, Josh Donaldson.
Good. Do you know there is not one? Well, Rafi Devers isn't leading third baseman?
No, Jose Ramirez is in first place, just by a slim margin, only about 20,000, 30,000 votes. Rafael Devers is in second with it's 1.219.
Is it Devers or Devers? I never know.
Devers, I say. I've heard Devers, and I say Devers. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go with that. Devers.
Yeah, but Ramirez has 1,219,000, and Devers has 1,185,000. So they're like right next to each other.
Yeah.
Matt Chapman's in third place with 696. But
all right.
LeMahieu's in fourth with 486. And Alex Bregman, 401 in fifth.
DJ LeMahieu's going to have votes in 4 different positions.
Pretty much. Hey, he's got votes in pitching, too. Look at this.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Shortstop, Bo Bichette.
I love how you say that. It's like a Star Wars character.
Boba Fett. Boba Fett has...
Instead of Bo Bichette, it's Bo Bichette.
That's why I say it that way. Boba Fett has...
Boba Fett.
has 1,084,000 votes in first. 240,000 votes behind him is Tim Anderson from the White Sox. in second, and Xander Bogaerts is right on his tail with in third with 822,000. But Jeremy Pena has 427, and Kinky Falafel has 342 in fifth.
I'll tell you what, Geiner Falefa is hitting better than Bo Bichette. I mean, I think he has the highest average in the American League. Oh no, other than Bogarts. I think he's got the second highest average of any shortstop. I might be wrong in that.
He's got a very
high. No, what's his name?
You could be right.
What's his name on Cleveland? I think is also is higher. But yeah. Rosario,
yeah.
Cleveland's got. How is Cleveland not better?
They got two. I know that's pitching. Yeah, that's what it is. They have two really good former Mets on the.
They have a
right of the middle in their.
They have a stacked lineup.
They do. DHs for the American League. Yordan Alvarez is leading by over 400,000 votes. Shohei Ohtani's in second.
Not JD Martinez, huh?
JD Martinez in fourth, behind Danny Jansen in third.
Has there been a more consistent player in baseball in the last 5 years than JD Martinez?
No, not really. I mean, he's JD Martinez.
Yeah, Yordan Alvarez. Is he as a DH or is he as a left fielder?
DH.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess it's the same thing as like Bryce Harper. They put him in as DH for his bat. But Yordan Alvarez, 1,374,000. Shohei Ohtani's got 900.
Houston's got a big fan base.
Yeah.
I mean, he is hitting 320, something like that, 318.
He's hitting high. Yeah, he's hitting a lot. More on Shohei Ohtani later. I got something to bring up with that. Where am I? And outfielders. Who do you think has the most votes in the American League for outfielder?
Well, that would be Joey Gallo.
Joey Gallo actually is on this list.
Of course he is.
But not in first.
It's because he threatened to knife. He threatened to knife anybody who didn't vote for him.
He's in 14th place.
It's Judge.
Of course. It's Aaron Judge has 2,433,000 votes. And I'm just really quick. I'm fairly certain, but I'm just going to give it one little. I'll tell
you who deserves to be there in center field is the guy in the White Sox. What's his name? I'll find it here.
On the White Sox?
Yeah, who's the center fielder for the White Sox? Robert? Yeah. Anyway, he's he was having a good year up until a week ago. Hopefully, he was hitting right around.
Yeah, he's not even on the list at top 20 outfielder votes. But yeah, Judge has the most votes of any one player in any of the All-Star.
So it's not center field, left field. It's just all
outfielders. Yeah.
Well, then you're going to have Alvarez from Houston on there. You're going to have Benintendi. Where is he playing now?
Benintendi's with the Royals.
The Royals. I mean, is he on that list?
He's on the list. He's in 11th. You got Aaron Judge in first, Mike Trout's in second, Springer's in third, Stanton's in fourth. Taylor.
Talk about somebody who should be in the DH list.
Yeah. Taylor Ward's in fifth. Gurriel Jr. from the Blue Jays is in sixth.
How about Randy Arozarena?
Teoscar Hernandez is in seventh. Randy Arozarena is in 13th place.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Byron Buxton, I'm just going to do the top.
I think a lot of those guys
Michael
in the
Brantley and
outfield
Kyle Tucker
are living on their history.
Yeah,
a lot of those guys are not having Springer's not having an all-star year.
No, he's not, and he's got the third most votes for outfielders in the American League. So, but in any event,
I don't think Arozarena's having an all-star year either.
No, but he's about the same as. That's what I'm saying. It's like one's not on the list, the other one's second. So
right. Oh yeah,
Gurriel, deserves to be there. Trout, obviously, every year. But yeah.
I heard. No, never. It's a dumb joke. I'm not gonna make it anyway. Talk about that later. All right, but so there you go. There's the All-Star voting. That's as of 2 days ago.
How about pitchers? They don't vote for pitchers.
They don't vote. Nope. You just vote for position players. No pitchers in this list. Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll report back. And we will do 2 weeks from tonight. We will do our All-Star voting, and we'll come up with our lists for our all-star starters. And we think they should be in there as well. So,
And Pete will give us his criteria for all-star teams.
I look forward to hearing what that criteria is.
I don't like this guy.
That's really not going to be that much different.
His pants annoy me.
I don't like teams with blue uniforms.
Funny names get the top billing almost.
That's right. You don't have very many of those.
No, we got to bring them back. Bring them back.
There's no high pockets.
We need to change Jordan Alvarez to like baby hands Alvarez. Or
high pocket baby hands Alvarez.
High pockets Martinez.
You know what? I may look at the
Xander the Flander Booger.
Ironically, JD Martinez. You know what JD stands for, right? Josh Donaldson Martinez.
Yeah.
I may look at the all-star voting and then make up some nicknames for those guys. And
there you go. That'd be great.
Yeah,
I look forward.
We should do that. We'll come up with our list and then we'll give them nicknames. We'll give them our own nicknames based on
Trey Arancini Mancini.
Arancini Mancini. We'll John Sterling it up a bit, but in our own way. All right. A couple things really quick about the Mets and the Yankees. I got something on the Yankees too. Two things on the Mets. I just want to bring it up here. We were mentioning Ohtani before. Buster Olney. I don't know if you saw this. Buster Olney reports that he's linking Ohtani to the Mets, and his rationale is this: Ohtani has 16 months until he's a free agent. Billy Epler was the GM that lured Ohtani to the Angels, and now he works for Steve Cohen, the richest owner in baseball. So he's linking Ohtani to the Mets. Like Ohtani's going to wind up being a Met after once he reaches free agency. That's that. Now, I read that post, and then I went a couple of comments, and the at least a dozen within the first maybe 2 dozen comments were, "That's great. In a couple of seasons, he can join Juan Soto and Aaron Judge in Queens."
Yeah, Mets fans are on their high horse right now.
I know. But hey, you know what? I wouldn't mind Shohei Ohtani being a Met.
Yeah, the Yankees.
Wouldn't bother me.
The Yankees consistently light him up. So yeah, bring it on.
Just to hit, not to pitch. Yeah. But in any event,
Speaking
all right.
of Shohei Ohtani, if I might mention one thing about Shohei,
mention away. Go for it.
I know you love Shohei Ohtani.
Well, I keep saying he's just doing stuff that no one else in the league is doing. Well, this is a little bit of a
stretch.
No, it's a little bit of a, well, here's some things that people have never done. So not like it's a standard that every player is measured against, but
right.
He's got the best combined ERA and OPS in the history of baseball.
So it was I guess it was last week, 2 weeks ago, maybe. I don't know. So he had a really good game. He hit a couple 3-run home runs and drove in 8 runs. That was on a Tuesday.
Okay.
And then Wednesday he was on the mound and he struck out 13. So he became the first and so far only player in history to strike out 10 batters in a game after driving in 8 or more runs in the previous game.
That's pretty damn good.
So again, it's kind of a, that's not something that they measure really, like how many 8 RBI and then 10 strikeout the next day games as this guy had. No one's ever done it.
No,
but they're both.
Even Babe Ruth, we're sure Babe Ruth never did that. He might have.
According to everybody, Babe Ruth never did it. So,
here they're not saying that Babe Ruth never drove in 8 runs or struck out 10 batters. They're saying he never drove in 8 runs, and the next day struck out 10 batters.
Yeah, but he fucked 6 hookers.
Yes,
take that, Shohei Ohtani.
In between innings.
Yeah, and he ate half a dozen hot dogs.
Half a dozen, a dozen.
Yeah.
In between innings.
In between innings.
Yeah. While on the mound, actually.
I think it bears mentioning because it's 8 RBIs, which is rare,
right?
In a single game, and then again, 10 plus strikeouts in a game is, it's considered a pretty good. Right, you can strike out 8 or 9. Oh, that's good. You get to 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, that's a really good game. So, first guy to ever do that. Now, again, it's sort of a cherry pick thing, right? You can always find they do that in basketball all the time, right?
Sure.
First player
Find a
with
really good stat, and the next
first
day
player to shoot over 50% and 3-pointers over 4-game stretch while on the road, something like that. It's
while on the road in the west of the Mississippi, but south of the Rio Grande. Right.
In night games only, or something like that. So, but again, this just goes in the pile of things that Ohtani does that no one else has ever done, or no one else does.
Sure, of course.
So, again, I don't, it doesn't get him anything.
No,
I don't think it was an incentive in his contract.
Probably not.
But still, the guy's amazing, and I'm going to keep pointing it out until he becomes a Met.
Because that's when because then he's automatically amazing, right?
But is he the Russell Westbrook of baseball?
Well, remains to be seen. We'll find out.
Well, no, because he hasn't been anywhere else. He hasn't shuffled around.
You know what I mean, though.
Yeah. But it takes 2 players on a basketball team, can have a lot more impact than 2 guys on a
two players on a basketball team can ruin an organization.
2 basketball players on a Major League Baseball team could ruin an organization too.
Yeah, depends on who it is. If it's J.R. Smith and Kyrie Irving, they could ruin 2 teams.
Yeah, I don't think Kyrie needs help.
Kyrie does not need any help.
Kyrie's a solo act.
He's got it down pat. Yeah. He's got this act
but
down.
Yeah, the point is well taken, right? He could end up certainly if he stays with the Angels too, he could end up having this amazing career.
Kyrie,
yeah.
Kyrie, yeah. Ohtani and Trout too, for that matter.
Kyrie Ohtani
could be 2 of the all-time best who never won anything.
Yeah,
other than 84 games that 1 year, or whatever. Yeah.
I mean, this is Buster only reporting. I mean, who knows? And even if he does test the free agency waters, is he gonna, is he leaving LA? Is he leaving California? Is he even gonna go anywhere? But whatever. But
you gotta think he's got to go somewhere.
Do you think? Do you think the Angels are going to start unloading people already? I mean, they're not great, but they're right around 500, and they're still in the hunt.
Right, but you know what? But here's
a real fire sale, though.
It's been a while, but here's my thing with this, though. Obviously, they're paying Trout, but they're paying Trout, right? So if they're doing well, all right, if they're doing well, and they need some other pieces depending on what's going on, and they're they're in that spend mode because they can taste it, they want to get a little bit better, then Ohtani's staying. Right, they'll give him. They'll work out whatever they have to work out, and we'll get him a stay, even if it's just a year or 2, an extension or whatever, or avoid arbitration. But whatever for free agency. But in any event, if they're tanking at that point, obviously this is after next season, right? If they're not doing as well as they did, let's say at the beginning of this year or whatever, if they're down, if they're on a downside or whatever, it might not be a fire sale, but why would they want to spend a ton of money on Ohtani? Because Trout's still there. He ain't going anywhere, unless they're going to, so they still got to pay him unless they want to unload him. And I doubt that's going to be all too popular in California for them to do that. So, who would be, if they had to pick between, if you were the owner or the GM or whatever, the Angels, and you had to pick between keeping Ohtani or keeping Trout, who are you keeping?
Well, if you had to make a choice at this point, I mean, how old is Mike Trout now? 32?
79.
No, he's not that old, actually.
It's like 32, 33, yeah. No, 31 maybe. 31.
And Ohtani's what, 26?
Yeah, he's 4 or 5 years younger than him.
Keep Ohtani, yeah.
I'd keep Trout.
Yeah, that's my point. I'd keep Trout too.
I'd keep Trout. I mean, look, he's the best player in baseball. Ohtani's a freak of nature, and he's very talented. I think Ohtani's one of those guys, though, that on the right team could be an absolute nightmare in the playoffs. Because I could picture him pitching every 2 games, 4 innings, and playing every game at the plate.
Right.
I mean, he could. Now, let me ask this question. Can you be the pitcher and the DH at the same time?
Yes.
I don't see why you couldn't.
Okay. So that, I mean,
you got to ask Rob Manfred that question because he probably come up with a reason.
Robbie, hey, we got a question for you.
Get Manfred on the line.
Get Manfred.
Jimmy, get Manfred on the line.
No, not
right,
Manfred, man.
Manfred
So
Man.
here's the thing, right? So Trout came into the league in 2000 or 2011. Right?
Doesn't it seem like he's been around longer than that?
Yeah. So here's their win totals starting with that year. 86, 89, 78, 98. Lost in the division series there. 85, 74, 80, 80, 72. 26 and 34 in 2020. 77 and 85 last year. And 36 and 41 this year. So now
they're on pace to have their best season other than the one playoff year.
Yeah. So they have. So even before Ohtani got here, they didn't do a very good job of building around Mike Trout.
Not so much. No.
They were, under 500 every single year,
except for the playoff year.
Well, no, they had 86 wins in 2011 and 89 in 2012, but didn't go to the playoffs either of those 2 years. And probably, let's see, Trout played in 40 games 2011 and 140 in 2012. So his first legitimate year was 2012.
2012, yeah. So
and that's about the last time, other than 2014. Oh no, they had 85 wins in 2015. So, but they're not going anywhere.
They were hovering around mediocrity every time they were decent, and then below that from that point on.
So they didn't do anything building around it before Ohtani came around.
Right.
And of course, everybody said, "Well, you're paying one guy so much money." Well, now you're paying two guys so much money.
But they have improved. They're right in the middle of the pack, a little better than the middle of the pack in team earn run average. They just seem like they can't string together quality wins. And I thought they were going to be a lot better this year. I thought that they were going to be, giving a real strong run for the money in that division, especially in that division.
Right.
So,
well, see, that's the thing, though. Obviously, Houston has been good for the past.
Houston's great. Yeah.
Right. But who else in that division has been good over the past 5-6 years?
True. They get
Oakland,
to beat it.
Oakland does.
Seattle was good last year. Houston has been good up until this year.
Oakland is always, a hard.
Oakland is always around, right? And over 500, and they put.
And Texas has improved.
Right. This year they've improved, but so in other words, it wasn't like it was Houston and another pretty good team, and then another team.
Your point is well taken. They're not playing in a super hard division. They should be able.
Exactly.
They should be a team that's well above 500.
Right.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. To my point before, we had a comment in here from Dave Scardino, says Trout is beloved out there. Can't see him going anywhere. That's kind of where I was going with this.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as obviously everybody's loving Shohei Ohtani right now.
Well, as much as he's beloved by all 6 Angels fans.
Right. I think it's 8.
I mean, that's the problem is that, there's not very many Angels fans in Southern California.
Right.
It's
Dodgers. I would say that, the Angels are probably fighting it out with the A's for the,
Well, that's different.
4th and 5th spot.
That's Northern California.
But still, I mean, just in California in general.
Well, they're in that area. They're definitely fighting it out with the Padres.
Right.
I mean,
let's take it. What's our
the Giants and Dodgers?
Giants and Dodgers are the right, exactly.
But no, what is the ranking of all the? Forget about which league they're in. All the California teams. Dodgers most beloved, right?
Oh yeah.
Question.
San Francisco probably pretty close.
I would say.
Second,
I would say
distant second.
I wouldn't say too far of a distant second,
but a distant second. Only because Southern California covers way more territory in some ways, sports-wise.
Yeah, there's not a whole
especially with
lot
the
of
Inland Empire. People in Santa Cruz don't even care about baseball. I mean, Sacramento, they don't even know that there is a Major League Baseball, and they're rooting for the Mariners. So
all right. So San Francisco's second,
and there's a lot of the difference is that the Dodgers fans carry across the country. They're kind of
I'm talking about just in California.
I'm just saying though.
California, yeah.
But yes, they have a much larger national.
Dodgers are number 1, and it's got
Giants are number 3.
Giants are number 2. I'm going to say Padres are number 3.
I'm going to say Padres.
Yeah,
Padres, right? Just because of the recent. Now,
yeah.
Oakland, you got to think there's probably a lot of old school Oakland fans
They're
who
all
still
dead.
like them, but they're kind of
They
Are you
have
talking about like in
they want to
Philly
root
or
for a
Kansas
winner.
City,
And
or
it's not going
just
to be
in?
Oakland.
You talking about Philly or Kansas City, or
Yeah.
just in Oakland itself?
Well, no, it's just in California.
I would say that there's probably more Angels fans total than Oakland fans. It doesn't mean that Oakland doesn't have a good following, because they do. It's just they're a little bit more relegated to the Bay Area, and there's
The Giants are just too huge there.
And look, the thing with San Francisco is that the Los Angeles sports fans, there's just more of them per capita than there are in the Bay Area.
Well, also you have between
Jazz
San
fans?
Francisco and Oakland, even though they're different leagues,
Yeah,
they hate each other.
sure.
In other words, you're not going to have any San Francisco fans. They're certainly not going to be Dodger fans, but they're not
Look,
going to be Oakland.
in the Bay
I would
Area,
say-
Bay Area, there's a way bigger disconnect between the Giants and the A's than there is to say the Cubs and the White Sox, or the Yankees and the Mets.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, the
It's
Yankees,
the most
Yankees
big-
and Mets
it's
fans
the-
love each other more than Giants and.
No, I'm not talking about
Baseball.
love. I'm just talking about fan wise. Like out of any major city that has two teams, which I think there's only three, right?
New York,
San
Chicago,
Francisco,
and
San Francisco.
San Francisco. Well, and LA.
Well, okay, LA. So I would say that the closest is probably the White Sox and Cubs. The second is probably the Yankees and Mets, and the biggest distance is San Francisco to Oakland, with the Dodgers and the Angels being second. So, the
Angels are
there's more
basically-
parity in New York and Chicago than there is in LA.
State-wise, the Angels are fifth. Or would you put them fourth ahead of Oakland?
I'd put them ahead of Oakland.
Okay, fair enough. I could see that. I definitely think it's Dodgers, Giants, Padres.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, you can make an
I think
argument for
I'd put-
each. But
that
I could
probably- Sorry, go ahead.
No, I could see them putting. Yeah, I mean, because they've. It's close. It's probably closer than any of the other three teams as far as who's in fourth and who's in fifth when it comes to those two teams.
Yeah,
So,
I'd probably put the A's in fourth. But
yeah, but by a slim margin.
yeah, not by much.
So anyway,
I
all right.
don't know what the point of all that was, but
That was we were talking about Ohtani.
The,
We just
the
kind of.
Dodgers. The Dodgers are averaging almost 38,000 people a game.
Mhm.
Okay, San Diego is averaging. No, okay, now this just changed. 2022. What the fuck is this? Attendance. Here we go.
There we go.
48,000 a game for the Dodgers.
Mhm.
36,000 for San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
San Francisco, 30,000.
Okay.
So when it comes to going to a game, Padres are
Dodgers, Padres, Giants.
Padres.
Where do the Angels and A's factor into that?
I'm trying to find all this. They're not.
the Angels are 11th at 31.
The Angels are 31,000.
31,000.
And
So more
Oakland
than the
is dead
Giants.
last.
Yeah.
8,300 a game.
8,000. So Oakland's definitely last.
All right. So you're saying the Angels have better attendance per game on average than the Giants do?
They do.
So
But again, I think part of that
Again, it has to do with the fact.
geography.
It has to do with the fact that even with the 49ers, it's just there's more of a hardcore presence in sports in the LA area than there is in the Bay Area. It's just it's a reality. So and you're seeing it even in San Diego. I mean,
yeah. So Dodgers, Padres, Angels.
I still think total fan wise, the Giants are second.
We were right. Yeah, with that. Yeah.
But Oakland's definitely last.
Especially if you go the entire country and not,
actually,
especially
no.
you go the entire country and not just California, because
Right.
Dodgers and
Well, according
Giants
to this,
obviously have fans across the country. So
Dodgers have 1.5. San Diego's 1.3. Angels are 1.3. San Francisco's 1.1
1.11
million
Runs per game.
fans.
million
total.
fans,
How do they
No,
measure
but they're
that?
only they're only
sales.
they're a couple 100,000 behind the Angels.
Does that have to do with people going to games?
That is the total attendance.
Yeah, attendance.
Still attendance.
I just told the attendance is going to be Dodgers, Padres,
Angels,
Yep.
Giants,
Yeah.
A's last,
And I just explained why people don't go consistently to the games in San Francisco,
In San
but they
Francisco
watch
and
them at
Oakland,
home. And there's more total fan wise. The Giants are a bigger,
not fan attendance,
Not
just
fan attendance.
like
Yes.
Right.
Gotcha.
But I also think because of the geography, right? Because you have San Francisco on one side of the bridge, you have Oakland on the other side of the bridge.
Mhm.
So they're very close together, but
Right.
those fans don't mix unless they're playing each other.
Right.
No one who is a Giants fan will ever go to see Oakland.
That's not true.
No, I think if they're a real Giants fan, even though they're in different leagues, those teams hate each other because of their proximity.
Well, and one's
I
downtown.
don't think that's true of the
It's a
Angels and the Dodgers.
Totally
as
different
much.
experience. Totally different experience. Yeah, and for the Angels and the Dodgers, they're all not easy places to get to, but LA is actually kind of a fun. The Dodger Stadium's in a cool part of town. It's not horrible to get to, although any place in LA is hard to get to. It's just they show up more for their teams than the Bay Area people.
No, definitely, and I agree with that. I do.
Yeah. But in other words, I don't think that.
But the Giants,
I don't think
the
the
Giants still have
Angels-
more of a fan base, especially because of some of the old school New Yorkers that are still following them.
Yeah, of
Right,
course.
but I don't think the Angels.
Yeah, there's still a lot.
Dodgers,
There's still, ironically, there's still a lot of Dodgers and Giants fans still in the New York area.
Right. What were you going to say, Pete?
Yeah. But the Angels and the Dodgers are not the same kind of rivalry as
No.
Giants and Oakland.
Rivalry wise, it's not. It's not
Right.
even
Because
there.
I'm saying proximity.
Right.
that's- The Angels are the redheaded.
You also have to realize that Oakland's been around.
Literally.
And the Angels are, to me, still kind of a new team, much like the Mets are still kind of a new team. The Dodgers and Giants.
They've only been around 60 years. They're still.
Well, you know what I mean, though. I mean, that's one generation.
I know. No,
You go back one generation, and they remember a time before the Mets were in New York. So I mean, it's
true.
Yeah.
Our parents will remember.
There's a legacy thing there with
Giants
the Dodgers.
photogram.
There's a legacy thing there with the Dodgers.
Yeah. I mean, it's one generation, but there's a couple generations.
Attendance wise, the
generations
Southern,
after us,
Southern
too.
California tilt does not surprise me because they go to games.
Okay. All right. Well, now we got that out of the way. I got one other thing on the Mets.
Not much to talk about with baseball.
I just want to bring it up. Fastest. This happened last week. Fastest to 100 and later last week. Fastest to 125 home runs in Major League Baseball history.
Shohei Ohtani.
Fastest to 125 home runs. In first place is Ryan Howard. He did it in 405 games.
It's going to be Pete Alonso, I'm guessing.
Pete Alonso is in second place right now. 435.
If he could hit anything other than a home run, that guy would be an MVP candidate.
And Aaron Judge in third place. Pete Alonso beat Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge, it took him 447 games. So it took Aaron Judge 12 games more than Pete Alonso.
Slacker.
Really?
12 games more to hit 125.
And you want to give him an 8th year?
Polar repeat, yeah. Yeah, really. All right, and Yankees. Want to bring this up though. Conversely to that, let's bring this up for the Yankees. Most multi-home run games through 70 games in a single season. Let me say it again. Most multi-home run games through 70 games in a single season.
This is a cherry-picked stat.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Most multi-home run games through 70 games in one season.
The Yankees, yes.
No, Reggie Jackson in 1969 had 7 multi-home run games through 70 games. Aaron Judge is tied with 3 other people. Aaron Judge in 22 had 6. Luis Gonzalez in 01 had 6. George Bell in 87 had 6.
Mm-hmm.
And George Herman Ruth in 1928 had 6.
Yeah.
So
Just go out. Go, please, Yankees. Go out and get more fucking pitching.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron, fucking please do not put Aroldis Chapman in a game from now till the end of the year.
And what are you gonna do with him?
Trade him. Get rid of him.
Just leave him sitting in the bullpen.
Trade him.
Yeah.
Give. I'd love to see him come out for fucking Tampa Bay when the Yankees are playing him, so he could walk the fucking bases loaded and then walk in the winning run. Please, all these stats mean nothing unless they can just please win a fucking World Series.
Mm-hmm.
Just win it, please.
Gotcha.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
And don't lay dormant. Don't rest on your laurels.
You don't want to rest on laurels. I hate resting on laurels.
Go get some players. You go get Shohei Ohtani.
There you go. So, all right. Anything else in the world of baseball we want to discuss this evening?
I don't think so.
I think we're good, right? All right. Let's switch it up to briefly to football. Anything going on in the world of the NFL?
God, I hope not. I don't start watching football until November.
I don't know.
How was that? That just happened there. There we go.
You got very close, though.
I could do that again. Look at that.
A little too close for comfort.
Hello.
Yeah.
How are you?
Wow.
Anything new?
Yeah.
Anything?
But
now we go to Jersey Johnny and Piscataway.
exactly. I don't think there's much going on. Spring training, training camp is coming up in a couple weeks, right? Just a couple weeks. So
Ooh, I have one question. Well, this will be a prediction. Which wide receiver is going to have the biggest meltdown this year?
well,
I don't need an answer right now, but let's think about it.
What was the question?
Which wide receiver is going to have the biggest meltdown, either on or off the field this year?
you want to discuss this next week?
No, yeah, next week.
Next week on the show, we'll discuss it.
Yes.
So think about it. Which
2 weeks from now, whatever the case may be.
which wide receiver will have the biggest meltdown?
It might not involve stripping and running out of the game in the third quarter, but I think we're going to see some good shit this year.
I think you're right.
Who was
And
it
you
that
know what?
stripped
To be
and
quite
ran
honest
out?
with you, I'm going to say that it's going to be Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I think so too.
If he plays.
Whether he plays or
Even if he
not, it's going to be
doesn't.
Antonio Brown. I don't think he has to be on the field.
I mean, he's won it for many years in a row now, but yeah. Biggest meltdown this year goes to Antonio Brown.
What team did he play for, Harry?
He didn't play.
He didn't play.
He did it at a Village Inn in Clearwater, Florida.
There you go.
By the way, really, one other thing. Did you see this story about Bruce Arians?
No.
No, bring it up.
Well, because
Is he in Mesa, Arizona now, looking at aliens through a telescope?
no,
or
he's hanging. He works for the Bucks, but
Right.
nobody knows what his job is.
He's in the front office.
But no one knows what his job
No, he's
is.
just in the front office.
He's the weird old guy who fucking.
He's not the
Help
coach. So he said he called it. It's a what do you think job. Everybody asks me what I do, and they know they're getting a brutally honest answer, whether it's Joel Glazer, blah, 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 Todd Bowles. It's been fun going to practice, watching and learning some more, watching us change, looking at the new guys, looking forward to getting to camp. But no one knows what his job is.
It's kind of like the old guy who used to own the company, but his son took it over, or his daughter took it over.
Right, he hangs around.
He
and
comes in every Wednesday and Friday, and he gets people to try to help him turn his computer on and
Yeah.
check his emails
Exactly.
and print something on the printer.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of my job, Arian said. I get to be in the locker room, get to be around the coaches every day, and still have a big hand in the draft.
He's an advisor.
Well, it would help. It's a good
Yeah,
thing that he has
yes.
big hands, because Baby Hands Johnson doesn't have big hands.
Baby
so
Hands Johnson, they will not let him in the locker room.
Not even
I don't know.
close. So.
If you can catch with those little hands, and they're going to need somebody at tight end.
If they bring back
Exactly.
Stickum, he might have a shot.
Here's the other question. Okay, think about it. We can have this answer before the season starts. At what point will Gronk come back? What game?
Week 14.
Well, what is the latest he can come back? There is a cutoff point, right? Where you have to.
Yeah, I think so.
That's what it will be.
All right, we'll have to bring that up in next week or the week after. Some dates here for you. The Giants rookies report to training camp on July 19th and veterans on July 26th. Jets, same thing, July 19th for rookies and July 26th for veterans. Most of the teams is that schedule. There's a couple that are a little bit different. I know we have a Cowboys fan. One of our viewers at the moment is a Cowboys fan. It's July 26th for both rookies and veterans, same day. So apparently in Dallas, the rookies do not need extra time at training camp.
No, because it can be lousy even without the extra time.
So, and that's coming from a pseudo Cowboys fan too. So,
well, listen, until they get it right,
The Cowboys
they
are never
will continue to get it wrong.
Let's not look. The Cowboys are never bad.
no, they're not.
They're not the Giants. They're not the fucking Jets.
Yeah.
The Cowboys just haven't gotten over the hump. But it's got to be much more enjoyable to root for the Cowboys than it does for either of the New York teams. For the
Does it though?
No, it's not.
Does it though? Because at least with the Giants and the Jets, you know what you're getting.
I can't. Yeah, it's a train wreck.
Right.
I understand what you're saying.
I can't get through a Giants game. I'll be honest with you. I just can't.
No, I understand what you're saying,
through
but look, the Cowboys, at least in my mind, it's not a Yankees thing where it's win or bust. I don't feel
No,
that.
but I liked watching the Cowboys. The games I saw last year, Micah Parsons was incredible.
Right.
You know, I mean, the
There's-
Cowboys had a good.
There's
good
always
team.
some incredible
They
talent.
just fuck up at the end.
Yes, and that's why it's really frustrating.
They're like the
You know?
Yankees have been for the last 12 years, or however long
Right,
it's
but
been.
here's the
13.
so we have the high schoolers here. They go to the
They go play the Cowboys.
no, they should. So they have a music
Toughen them up a little bit.
adjudication thing called the NISMA, it's New York State Scholastic Music Association.
Okay.
So the kids go and they play a 5-minute solo, and then there's a judge there who writes down the score.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get 100, then you have a chance at being an all-state player, which means you get to go up to Rochester and they have an all-state orchestra and all that stuff. You go up there for like 3 or 4 days with kids from all over the state, and you play a bunch of music. It's really cool. It's a really cool experience. You got to get 100 to be considered.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think would be worse? Getting a 99 or getting a 95?
I was wondering where this was going.
Getting a 99 is worse because you're
just missing it.
Missed
and
it.
that's kind of what I said before. At least with the Giants and the Jets, you know you're getting,
You're getting a solid 34.
you're getting a solid,
There's
maybe
no-
40.
Right.
Maybe
There's no
so.
chance.
Well, hey, if you get to 40, then all your fans go,
Right, exactly.
Daniel Jones is the next.
But the Cowboys
Joe
are like,
Montana.
they're just it's like that commercial, with the dollar bill with the guy with the. And
The
I know
answer
I know it's a
is-
meme with the Super Bowl
the
trophy. And I'm not even
answer
talking
is
about
I'd
that, but
rather have
like,
99.
just almost had it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not that I expect them to win every year, but it's just been too long. They've got to get a little close. They're too good of a team, or
But that
they have too
frustration
good of a
comes from
history.
winning.
Yeah.
And here's a
So
comment.
it's like being a Knicks fan. I mean, if the Knicks were historically always, well, they have been, but I mean, if they were,
But historically, throughout time, and not
Yeah,
have the years that they had, the good
I mean,
ones.
it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But
Well-
at least the Cowboys try to get better.
Well, see here, my point is, and I've said this before on the show, and I've said this to a lot of people, and my personal opinion for the Cowboys is kind of where it is almost kind of parallel to what the Mets' biggest problem was for all these years, and that was the Wilpons. The Mets really weren't going to do a whole hell of a lot with the Wilpons still owning the team, and so with the Cowboys, it's still the same thing. It's with Jerry Jones there. With the Joneses just actually being in charge, it's going to be really difficult. And
Well, there's more.
there's a comment. Dave Scardino's comment in it saying, as long as the Joneses are in charge, the Super Bowl will be difficult. I agree 100%.
I have an honest question for everybody who's deeper into the Cowboys than I obviously am. I understand the frustration with Jerry Jones. However, Jerry Jones is not a Dolan. I mean, Jerry Jones goes out. It's not like he's drafted Daniel Jones. It's not like he's gone out and hasn't been able to sign players.
Right.
I mean, yes, he wants control in things, and I get that. And he doesn't necessarily have the best decision-making power.
That's the problem.
But it's not like he doesn't spend the money, and it's also not like guys don't want to go play for the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
So, and look, they weren't dumb enough to pass on Micah Parsons, So
Yeah, he's certainly not the worst owner in the league.
no,
but
that's my point.
I think it's more a question of consistency.
He's annoying.
He's
But
annoying.
they said the same thing about Al Davis. They said the same thing about Al Davis for many years.
I think the difference, though, and this again, my opinion only. It's not like I know these guys. Davis, they obviously both want to win, but Davis had a straight line drive to win, and the way to get there was to do whatever it takes. Jerry, I think, is a little more scattered.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's
and Al Davis was a master. Al Davis was a master at going and get guys who have been thrown away, forgotten about.
Yeah.
Too slow, too old, too this, too that, and bringing them in with an attitude and putting them on some teams. But the Raiders had some shitty years too there. Let's not forget about that.
Well, they did. But I think Jones, you mentioned Dolan. I think the thing they kind of share in common is impatience with the 3 or 4 year plan or whatever it is.
Well, obviously, Dolan's got more patience than any man on the planet.
Well, I mean, but
now he's building a team for 2037.
Well, yeah, that's true. But I mean, for a long time, right?
I thought you were going to say he's building a team for 20 or 30
Dolan's
cents.
Dolan's got his fingers in the pie, and I think Jones has kind of the same thing.
I get it. I get the frustration, but it could be worse.
Dave just said exactly, Harry, and they're still not winning the.
I get it, and that's a frustration. I get it. But you don't know if it's going to be better if Jones leaves, and he's not going to leave until he dies.
Right
now, we thought the same thing here in Colorado. I mean, we had an ownership group which was great for many years. Patriarch and matriarch of the family kind of are gone, and now all of a sudden we're owned by Walmart. So be careful what you wish for.
Right.
Be careful what you wish for.
Well, no one said they wanted the Cowboys to be owned by Walmart.
Well, that's who owns the Broncos now. So
there you go. Well, there you have it. Yeah, but that's they're even though they're Walmart, they're pretty big. So.
Well, yeah. Even though they're Apple, they're pretty. They're going to compete. Of course. Yeah. Right. I mean, football has less to do with having deep pockets.
Yeah.
Football has to do with putting the right personnel pieces in place to make those decisions, and that's where I agree with Jerry Jones has too much say in what goes on. They need, but there's 5 people right now in the NFL who are excellent at making personnel decisions year after year after year after year.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not on the Cowboys. And so management on the Cowboys has been a problem. Yeah. Head coaching has been a problem. Management has been a problem. It's not talent. Yeah. They have talent. They always have.
Yeah.
And I think Mr. Scardino just summed it up in this other comment. Go Lions.
Yeah. Well, Lions aren't going to be bad this year.
No, really not. So, all right.
He's talking. He's
got to root for somebody.
Talking about the Lions of the British
I
Columbia
know what he's
Lions.
talking about, but
yeah.
But in any event,
yes.
Where are we going? Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. So we want to switch gears and talk a little bit about Kyrie. I know you wanted to bring that up.
I don't want to. I mean,
well, you wanted to bring something up about Kyrie, and we also wanted to talk about what the Knicks are shitting the bed down.
Well, let me just put it to I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Mm-hmm. You got Kyrie. What do you Pete? I guess this is for you. But what do you think?
I hope we get more than 29 games out of him.
Well, yeah.
I know that people pointing to their record with him, their record without him. I don't know. Can we, if we can have a quote unquote normal-esque season as far as masking goes, people not having to wear masks and
it's the vaccines. It's
right. People, if he gets to play, fine. He'll have his episodes. But he'll play a lot of games
nightly,
and they'll be better. They'll be better. He's a great player.
James Harden opted out of his guarantee today. James Harden, $47 million, opted out of it. Do you think anybody's going to take on James Harden?
Somebody will.
Well, I think he'll be back with the Sixers, don't you think?
I don't know. What else are they going to do?
There's a lot of guys getting a lot of money. Shaq was talking about this the other day with, Rudy Gobert getting, $205 million. I mean, there's a lot of guys. Look, the NBA is you have to have a star to win. You're not going to see a team of the Detroit Pistons of Chauncey Billups' day, assembling a group of really good players to beat the superstars. It's just not going to happen because the game is so geared around outside shooting.
Yeah, I don't think one star is enough.
No, and that's my point.
So if the Sixers don't bring him back, who's going to be the other guy besides?
I think the most interesting free agent right now,
Jalen Brunson.
We'll talk about fucking Jalen Brunson. Is Bradley Beal?
Yeah.
Bradley Beal is a guy who still has a number of really good years with him. Before he got hurt last year, he was averaging over 30 points a game. But can you picture him on the Lakers or, on the Nets? I mean, I'd love to see him go to the Knicks, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Right.
I'd love to see him come to the Nuggets. To me, he is the kind of guy that can take a team from being a potential NBA champion to a champion, no matter what. Here's where I think he should go. Milwaukee. That's where I think he should go, because I think he would fit in really well with Giannis.
And they don't need a whole lot to get them.
No, they're not.
"Quote unquote" over the hump. I mean, they've been over the hump, not this past season, but the year before, and
right.
We're pretty close again. So,
yeah, I mean, with a healthy Middleton and Drew Holiday,
Yeah, I'll say this: I think Irving opting in, that puts the death sentence for any other big name free agent coming to Brooklyn. It's ride or die with KD and Irving.
I don't think that's necessarily true, because last year they had 3 guys with pretty big salaries.
Yeah, but that was before it really went to shit.
Right.
I get it. But it doesn't mean they can't afford it. They can.
No, I'm not saying they can't afford it. I just don't think anybody's going to want to come and deal with that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you might get somebody who's not an established superstar yet, but is a tradable, maybe one of those guys that you think like, well, if this guy got more minutes, he might be better, who might, maybe look to come here and say, well, Kyrie's going to explode at some point, and then I get to step in and be the star along with KD. But, a lot of pieces have to fall into place for that. But who would want to come here and deal with that?
Well, the other thing too is that it doesn't mean that Kyrie won't be traded. It just means that he has a contract.
Right.
Yeah.
You can go to the Knicks.
Yeah.
Well, you joke, but I could see that, and I could see it being just horrible.
Well, they are getting rid of enough salary that they can afford to.
And the rumor with the Knicks is they're making all of this room so we can have Jalen Brunson, who had a career year last year, playing alongside Luka in a pick and roll offense, averaging 13 or 16 points a game. That's the Knicks' big idea.
Right. And
meanwhile,
Jalen Brunson's also meeting with the Mavericks in the
maybe
with the Heat too.
There's a strong connection to the Knicks, which is the only reason why Jalen Brunson is being talked about. Obviously, his dad played for the Knicks and is still in the Knicks organization.
Right.
And coaching.
Sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't, though.
Right. Exactly. I understand that.
But who's going to be there for him to play with?
Well, the Knicks offense doesn't work with what he was doing in Dallas. And is he that? I don't even think he's that great of an outside shooter. So it's typical Knicks. Like, okay, let's do something really good. Let's get rid of Kemba Walker, but then let's trade all of our draft picks. All right, well, we're looking for the future again. But no, we're also going to take Nerlens Noel and
Alec
another,
Burks.
and get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that for what is this really the big move the Knicks are going to do? Is Jalen Brunson? If that is, I'm done. I'm officially done.
Well, it's a good thing you have a second team to watch where you live, too. So.
Right. Well, they're another team making some moves, trying to get some cap. I really hope that, somebody like a John Wall, not John Wall, Bradley Beal says, hey, let me go to Denver. Let me go try to win a chip in Denver. it's so hard for teams like Denver to be able to get those players in, especially when they're competing against these other guys who are trying to lure everybody else in.
Speaking of luring, did you, Pete? Did you see what Dame did over the weekend on Instagram?
No.
He was trying to lure, trying to court KD.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you a question about Damian Lillard. He wants to do it on his own and stay in Portland.
Right.
So doing it on his own now is let me get the best player in basketball to join me.
Well, yeah.
Well, that's how it's done.
Kind of helps, doesn't it?
I mean, it's just so, I don't want to go anywhere else, but maybe I could get him to Portland. You know, I mean,
look, that's the formula, right?
Yeah.
80 went to
That's always been the
LA.
formula. It's always been the formula. It's just that the players are dictating it now, and they're not as good. Let's be honest. They're not as good as putting this stuff together as other management has been in the NBA.
Yeah, they don't know as much as they think they know.
No,
Right.
because they don't realize that they need 10, 12 players as opposed to 2.
Right.
2 and a bunch of stiffs.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. So, yeah.
I would if James Harden goes to yet another team, I'm just gonna laugh.
He's gonna. You think Philly can keep him?
I mean, do they have any choice?
Probably not, but
Jalen Brunson will probably go to Philly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, I think the Clippers. John Wall over 9 assists a game career wise. 20 points, 9 assists. Run the point, take the ball.
But he's got the Westbrook reputation. He can't play with anybody.
Well, he's never had to. He's never had the opportunity to play with. Where has he ever gone where he's had the opportunity to play with anybody?
No, I'm saying like there's any.
I mean, him and Beal together, Washington had one of their best years they've had. I mean, he's always been on teams that were never contenders. So I don't think he's unable to play with other people. I just don't think he's been given the opportunity.
No,
But
I mean he just has a reputation. He just doesn't get along with other guys.
is that really the truth? I don't know. You might be right.
yeah.
I don't know.
Obviously, I think Kawhi and Paul George said okay.
According to this report on Clutch Points, just from an hour ago, it looks like the Heat are major players in getting Jalen Brunson down there.
Well, the Heat are major players in everybody, according to the internet. I mean, that's where Bradley Beal's going. That's where Jalen Brunson's going. That's where, I don't know. I think I think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is going to the Heat this year.
I think Oscar Robinson's going down there too.
PJ Tucker,
Uh-huh.
PJ Carlissimo, Tanya Tucker.
And Bruce Arians is going to be a consultant.
Bruce
Bruce Arians is going to go down.
He's going to have a nondescript job.
He's going to
He's going to
email attendant.
15th seat there down all the way at the end.
Wander around and teach people how to shoot free throws underhand.
Underhand. All right. Well, on that note,
I mean, look, this is the most interesting part of the NBA season for me because as soon as the game starts, it's like, okay, whatever.
Exactly.
But the Nuggets, I don't understand. They get rid of Will Barton and Monte Morris for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and a bench player in Ish Smith.
Ish Smith.
Shmish.
Do you think he has any issues?
Yeah, that's what his fans are called, right? Issues. I don't. Unless the Nuggets are trying to open up cap room. God, I just wish. I hate to see. I hate to see Embiid and Jokic just not be able.
Right.
The pieces around him. Embiid's obviously had the opportunities, had some really big names there, but Jokic is sitting there going, all right, now I don't get to pass it to Monte Morris when I got 6 guys on me, but I get to throw it to Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Thanks. We're really building a contender around the 2-time MVP. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people out here who are down on Will Barton, but Will Barton, say what you will about him, has been a really good player for this team. I think you're getting a younger Will Barton and Caldwell-Pope. I mean, I don't see with less points per game, less rebounds, and less assists. I don't unless the Nuggets are just trying to open up space for something and they actually have something going on. I don't understand this move, but nowhere near as bad as what the Knicks have done. The Knicks are just the biggest head scratch in the history of professional sports. If you want to feel better about your Dallas Cowboys, just follow the Knicks.
There you go. Couple things about Stephen A. Smith. I don't know if you saw. He's been going nuts the last couple of days. He had words back and forth with Kyrie. Did you see that?
No.
He says,
I didn't see what they said.
He mocked Smith. He mocked Uncle Drew and told him that you got to show up to work, and called the NBA champion a peon for opting in, which could be referencing that Irving referred to the media as pawns in December 2020. And then after all of that, Kyrie went back at him on Twitter and said, "You're going to have to explain yourself to people in your generation. I'm not around many 50-plus-year-olds that speak and act like you do, so this is new for me. Plus, but I am sure my father and my uncles can meet you on your level better than I can."
Yeah, because they're smarter. Look, Kyrie's a great player. He's a fucking cancer. I don't want him on any team. If I'm an owner, I don't want Kyrie anywhere near my organization. He's a fucking cancer. He's a cancer. He's the biggest, one of the biggest assholes in sports.
Mm-hmm.
He's the most selfish professional player I have ever seen, and that is saying a lot. And I'm not saying Stephen A. Smith is
right.
the barometer for wisdom.
Stephen
and
A. Smith is, he's a big Knicks fan, right?
But
he
Stephen A.
said
Smith
the other
does
day,
know
he's
his basketball.
Right, and he said the other day, he's like, he said he's done with the Knicks. He's done.
Yeah,
he's done.
Well, I've said that before too, when they fucking strangleholded Charles Oakley out the door.
Exactly. All right.
Well, listen, good news for the Lakers' future, perhaps. Mm-hmm. Scottie Pippen Jr., I don't know if you saw this. Scottie Pippen Jr. and Sharif O'Neal on the Los Angeles Lakers summer team.
Well, there you go.
So there we go. That could be the future of the franchise.
That could very well be. Really quick basketball. I want to throw this up there. Obviously, we know the Warriors have won. This graphic is interesting. Warriors have made the NBA Finals every season where Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green were the primary starters, and they've won 4 out of 6.
One where they never. When you mean when they were hurt?
When they weren't hurt, when they were the primary starters for most of the season.
Yeah, well, of course. Yeah.
Well, there you go. So, thought that was interesting.
And anyway. Look, it's Steph Curry and Draymond and Klay Thompson.
Right.
There's no big three in Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
Draymond's great, but he's not a critical part of their championship. He's not.
No, but
in fact, they won despite him this year.
Right.
He draws all the negative attention.
Yeah.
So no one else has to really experience any.
And I'm not saying he's not a good player. I think he is, but I don't even think he's a top 50 player in the NBA right now.
Right. Gotcha. All right. Couple of NHL things. Congratulations to your Avs.
Our Russians are better than your Russians.
Yeah, let's see you win 2 in a row.
There you go.
That won't happen.
No.
You never know. This Avs team's young.
Well,
good for Colorado.
This was ABC last week, the other day, for one of the games. I'm going to throw up the graphic. This is the graphic that they posted on TV. Tell me what's wrong with that.
Denver Lightning.
Yeah.
Denver
NHL
Lightning.
final game 4 on ABC. Colorado Avalanche versus the Denver Lightning.
Yeah. Well,
they didn't have to travel far. It was a Subway series, apparently.
Yeah. Denver plays at the high school.
I think the Lightning is a women's lacrosse team, but that's okay. Look,
we'll throw some skates on them, get them out there.
Yeah. Who was the original pro hockey team in Denver?
That would be the Colorado Rockies.
That's right. Who became the
New Jersey Devils.
Correct.
Yes, in 1982.
That's right. They were only here for a few years. I think 76 to 82.
So it was short. Yeah, so 74, I think.
74 to 76. I think they were in Kansas City.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. All right. Groovy.
They were the Colorado Rockies in Kansas City.
Colorado Rockies in Kansas
That's why they
City.
didn't stay there long.
It didn't take off too well there.
Nobody
It
would
just
go to
didn't
the
catch
games.
on. It just didn't. Yeah.
They always they were always the road team, even in their own home.
Well, look,
home ice.
we had an NHL championship during a Pride parade. So downtown Denver was fabulous in so many ways. We brought many different cultures together.
Yeah, that's
and only lit a few things.
Must have been a trip.
Only lit a few things on fire.
Only a few. So just to recap, though, what were our picks?
Here we go.
I said Tampa in 7.
You said Tampa in 7.
Only because I wanted the Avalanche to win.
Right, Pete said Tampa in 6. I said Colorado in 6.
Yeah, there you go.
So
and how much money did John win?
I'm 2 for 2.
NBA and NHL correct predictions.
Exactly. That would be
0
because I didn't back up. I didn't go on DraftKings or anything and back up.
You
those
gotta
picks.
start betting, man.
I do. Well, you know what's going to happen when I start betting, right? I won't get it right.
Well,
what's going to happen? So
that's it. Your window's closed.
That's it. It's all good.
It's the month of June. That's it.
Look, I'll say this: the NHL playoffs this year were way more entertaining than the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, I agree.
I have to agree with you. Yeah, definitely.
It's just look, I was obviously pulling for the Avalanche. I was pulling for the Rangers actually against Tampa Bay. Mm-hmm. I wanted Toronto to beat Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay the reason why I picked them is because it seemed like you couldn't kill them.
Right.
It's just like, down 3-1, with 8 guys hurt and goalie with 1 leg. And so you got to give credit to the Avalanche. They're a really talented team, and they got, their weakness has turned into a strength. They had up and down goaltending, but their goaltending showed up in the last couple of games, and both teams played pretty well after those couple games that were football scores. Right. But they lost at home and then went down to Tampa and won. So congrats. Big win for the Avalanche.
There you go. Absolutely. So congrats to them. Next week on our show, we're actually going to do a first. We have never done a top 10 list that involved hockey. We haven't done one yet. So we're going to throw one in there in honor of this year's Stanley Cup Finals. Not that any of the teams we're going to do on the list were in the Stanley Cup Finals, but
it's the only teams we know anything about hockey.
This is true. So,
and in keeping with the true top 10 list, there's going to be 15 players.
16.
Well, it's a top 5.
Oh, 16 is it?
It's a top 5 for 3 different teams. So
you're the guys who wanted to put the Rangers in there.
There's a top 5 for 3 different teams.
And the Devils.
And
I just wanted to do top 10 Islanders.
There you go. And one team has 2 players on it. So there you go. All right. It's a tie for 5th. We did the list already, but it'll be on. We'll be reading the list on next week's show. So in any event, all right. What do you think?
Is that it? Are we done?
I think we're good.
All right.
We're good. What do you think?
Fantastic.
Right. On that note, we'll wrap the show up for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.getonwithitpodcast.com. That's getonwithitpodcast.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for the Get On With It podcast. And, of course, all of our shows are available on YouTube as well on the Logger Room channel. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night around 7:30 Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, and iHeartRadio as well. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds and you'll never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a happy and safe 4th of July weekend. Barbecue. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the long weekend. Obviously, you got some people have a 4-day weekend. So enjoy it. Watch a lot of sports. And we will talk to you next week, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Bye, everybody.